All right, so those of you that were there during this weekend's update, you'll probably know that I was extremely unhappy with pretty much the entire thing. And honestly, man, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I was a pretty big fan of the cosmetics. At the very start of the live stream, we were pretty much talking back and forth, and I told you guys that I had some pretty big plans as far as like video series go, that I was going to go ahead and reach out to some of you guys and maybe put together, I don't know, like a top 5 builds or something like that. I just sort of had like this completely different vision of how the cosmetics were going to work inside of our farm. But then the update dropped and everything just sort of hit me all at once. For starters, the cosmetic shop reset every 24 hours, which was absolutely absurd. Since then, they've obviously gone ahead and made adjustments to this. It now resets every single 4 hours, which arguably I still think is a little bit unfair. I feel like at most it should be resetting every single hour, especially when you take into consideration another thing that I also wasn't taking account for, and it's basically the fact that you can only have placed down a total of 60 items. This is obviously due to optimization reasons. I would imagine that they don't want people having, you know, like 600 items down times the other, 4 people that fit inside of the server. So for the most part, I do sort of understand that, even though I do think it's a really low number. For some reason in my head, I just wasn't thinking about optimization, and I was already picturing people like building the Eiffel Tower or building like the Statue of Liberty, maybe even building like an entire ginormous mansion. I don't know, but obviously that is not the case, and I've pretty much learned to accept that at this point, except for the fact that there's one other thing. On the left side, you'll notice that it says a total item of 250. Yes, that quite literally means that you can only have 250 items inside of your inventory, which to my understanding would mean that if you go ahead and purchase, I don't know, a bunch of these medium circle tiles, and later on you sort of change your mind and you're like, you know what, man, I don't want those. I instead want small wood flooring. But you already have 250 items inside of your inventory. Well, you're kind of cooked. You can't really do anything about it because, to my knowledge, there is no way of deleting any of these items, which is kind of absurd. I really hope that they do go ahead and add an option to at least delete items if we can only have 250. And I'm going to be honest, man, I'm sort of venting right now. This has nothing to do with today's video, but because I have been gone this entire time, due to the fact that I am currently on vacation, I'd probably even sound a little bit weird because I am currently recording this video from my vacation spot on a completely different setup than I am used to. I am on a laptop with a random mic and a random arm, just totally out of my environment. By the way, if we go ahead and transition over here to the Grow a Garden Discord, specifically the announcement channel, you'll notice that DJ Jahai posted up saying, this weekend, Busy Bees. Explore and participate in the new Busy Bee event, unlock new seeds, pets, features, and lots more. Where we were provided with this image right here, which is actually pretty cool. So we're going to be seeing some bee pets, obviously a couple of different flowers that are around. I'm more than likely going to assume that the bees will go around and collect pollen, or who knows what, maybe provide some really cool mutation. And then of course, mixed in with all of that, you also have what I would assume is cosmetic items that are related to the entire Busy Bee event. Now, if we switch over here to the front page of the Grower Garden game, there is obviously an event page for this. 1.5 million people are already interested, and it says, buzzing with activity, this update brings a new limited time event with lots of content to explore and enjoy. Explore and participate in the new Busy Bee event, unlock new seeds, pets, features, and so much more in the new Grow a Garden update. Now, honestly, that sounds fantastic because it just sort of seems that now we're getting a huge mixture of a bunch of different things. Another thing that I did forget to mention, which while my character is sort of having a freeze attack, in case you aren't aware, which I'm sure that every single one of you are aware at this point, but because of the fact that they did go ahead and only push out the pets, because of the fact that they only went ahead and pushed out the cosmetic update, they did also add a sort of moon shop. In my server, it's 39 minutes until it goes ahead and spawns, but inside of here, you basically have a variety of stuff. I believe you have the night egg as well as the night seed pack. Another thing is this twilight crate right here, which I actually have 7 of them. I need to go open them. I'm assuming that inside of these twilight crates, you can get things like what my buddy over here just north has. I haven't opened up any of these, and as a matter of fact, I have a couple of exclusive crates down that I wanted to go ahead and save for this moment. So we got ourselves a pillar on that one. Okay, another pillar over here. I'm not mad about that. We got a statue, and we got a fire pit, maybe. I don't really know what that is. And finally, we have the archway. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So we got a pretty decent amount of stuff. Oh, also, over here, this little cat is also included within that night shop. As you can see right here, it says every 59.24 seconds, it naps for 20 seconds, and then new fruits within that 20 stud radius that you guys just saw a second there when he was laying down. The stuff that grows inside of it will be 1.53x larger. On top of that, a 6.15% chance for moon type fruits to stay after harvest. Now, at this point, you're probably like, well, what is moon type fruits? That now leads me into another thing that's inside of the shop, which is the new seeds. To my knowledge, I believe that the moon blossom seed falls into this category of working towards the cat. But anyways, inside of that shop, you will find the Celeste berry seed. I only have 3 of these. And there also is a moon mango, which I actually don't have any of them. It's been a little bit of a nightmare exactly where I am for my vacation right now. I didn't have internet for the first day that I was here, so I just got the internet. And then after I got the internet, I came to realize that I didn't have enough USB ports to set up my entire setup. So I had to go buy a USB hub. And then after that, I couldn't get the thing to actually record. It's pretty much been one issue after the other. But we're here, we're alive, and we finally got a video done. I don't know how this is going to do. Moral is that I'm excited for this weekend. I will be obviously back home by then. I just randomly went ahead and placed down some of these crates, and turns out, yeah, it's pretty much all of those Twilight things. Unfortunately, it is going to take 10 minutes for these, so I am just not going to wait for that. I will go ahead and open them whenever I end up getting back on later today or maybe tonight. Moral is that I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the full guide video. We're going to be doing that every single week moving forward. And of course, we'll be live with the update because you guys showed insane amount of support on that live. I believe we peaked a total of 11,000 viewers on that stream. Absolutely absurd. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys also for getting me to 500,000 subscribers. With that being said, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the Busy Bee update. And I want to hear some theories on what the passive is going to be for the bee. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.